I wish I could say that Epic Music was for the movie we were talking about tonight. Maybe it is, but there's another reason why such epic music needed to be played tonight. You see, you thought that this was a review about Into the Spider-Verse, and maybe we'll get to that. I'm sure we will. That's why you're all here, but I'll tell you this much. There's another reason why you guys should all be excited tonight to be here. You see, it's not just me here tonight. And as much as I love the other homies, they know who they are. The ever so intelligent and witty homie Caleb, the A1 from day one, whether it be one of the Nerd Supremes, the master of all things D&D, and one of my oldest and closest, I'm talking about the homie Yas, or whether it be someone else like Brendan or the homie Joe. They're all fantastic. They're all phenomenal, but we all know there's only one. The one who's been here from day one. The one who said, fuck it, let's do it. I'm talking about the irreplaceable. Some say the iridescent. The unstoppable. Damn near unkillable. Homies, one and all, give it up. The homie Kevin is back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, God damn, does it feel good. Especially after an introduction like that. Oh. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, man. It feels great to be back. And homies, it feels great to be in front of the mic again, in front of the same old mic with my old headphones and sitting here at the same table once more.
Yeah,
man.
So,
yeah, dude. I guess a short-winded explanation is owed to all those listening. I stepped out from the mic for a minute, and it's going to be a minute more, unfortunately. I had moved. Homies all, one and supreme. I got a promotion at work, and it took me away from my rightful station here behind the mic, and yeah, life's been good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it's all bad because I definitely reaped the benefits of a good promotion and having to move. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee now.
What?
But
Stockholm.
Thank you. Yeah. But I already knew that I was gonna be back behind the mic again sometime soon. So I didn't. I had thought I wanted to say goodbye, and for a time I had this idea of sending out this appropriate big message and hoopla, but I wasn't gonna say goodbye, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We had helped this thing become, what it was from the ground up.
Yeah.
And then you had carried it so fucking well, and this has become your man child, your baby. Man child, correct, yeah. I'm just happy to help keep it going along,
Hell
I'm happy
yeah.
to guest spot on, to be a part of this again, especially for tonight's fucking subject, guys, because this is going to be a hell of a hoopla. So you already know, homies, just like every other episode, I got all three of my drinks. I got my water, my kombucha, and maybe even something a little stronger to go along with me. So, homies, one and all, thank you for joining along and listening. I missed the hell out of it. I hope you missed me too.
Oh, for sure they did.
Dude, fucking awesome, man.
Yes.
It feels so good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels good to have you here again, brother. It's been too long.
You know what the funny thing is?
What's
I
that?
started seeing someone in Chattanooga, and two things are going to happen about that. One, she, whenever we first started dating, told me, you sound like someone that needs to be, on radio or something. Have you been on radio before? It's well... Funny you should ask.
Yep.
There's a plethora of history there. And then two, I'm going to have to lie to her that I haven't seen this movie yet because we were supposed to watch this movie together later. I figured you'd get a kick out of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tell her, yeah, it's cool. Let's go see this movie together. It'll be fresh for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you should play this review for her after after she sees it.
Exactly. She's going to look at me and probably smirk a little. I'm going to be like, I'm sorry, baby. That's why I predicted things so well in this movie.
Right. That's fucking fantastic.
Oh, dude.
That is great. Oh man. Well, hell, we got to do things right here. So as we kick things off here, because it is damn near midnight here already.
Yep.
Yeah, it is late as fuck.
Yep.
But homies, one and all, welcome back to a very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and once again, I'm here with my good friend, the homie Kevin.
Well, once more, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the game. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Here we are for it.
Here we are doing what we've been doing since day one.
Hell
My
yeah.
goodness. So before we get into Across the Spider-Verse, there needs to be a proper reading of the rules.
Amen.
So the reading of the rules go as follows. For those of you who have not seen the movie, there's no need to fret. The first portion of this episode will be spoiler-free. So if you have not seen the movies, there will be no heavy spoilers here in the first section. The only things that will be discussed are completely spoiler-free things or things that you have seen in the trailers. Mm-hmm. There will be a noticeable break around the midway section of this episode, and then when we resume, we will be in spoiler-filled territory. So you will have ample times and warnings to hit the pause button when we go into the spoilers. So that has been your proper reading of the rules. And now here we are, discussing Across the Spider-Verse, Part 1. That last part is very important. Mm-hmm. So, Kevin, man, what were your vague overall feelings about this movie?
Dude, oh my gosh. Like, I couldn't shut up about it in the car and in the theater. Like, I had decided that I'm going to just break proper form, and we talked about it to a degree. Mm-hmm. We didn't rant and discuss it in great length, but brother, this was the most fun movie I have seen all year. Like, this definitely was a product where it made it fun to go to the movie theaters again.
Yeah.
And with no hesitation, I will happily watch this movie again. It was awesome. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had to sum up my feelings about this movie in the form of a question being, what does it mean when Sony puts out a better animated movie than anything I've seen from Disney in the past however many years?
Right? Right? Brother, like this movie alone should make Disney worried because this was definitely a gut punch. I mean, now, you know, not that it's a competition or anything. Of course not. Yeah.
Not that Marvel feels some type of way that Sony still has Spider-Man.
Right?
Know? Yeah. I'm sure there's no hard feelings.
It was so good.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to mince words. Homies, this was a phenomenal movie. And I'll be the first to admit, I didn't think that Sony could do it.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah.
Like, I know the first Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, was so good.
That was phenomenal. I thought it was a flash in the pan, you know?
Yeah.
A one and done.
Exactly. Yeah. Same here. I thought, like, oh, this was going to be so awesome. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're doing another one? Well, you know, we'll see how it goes. You know, sequel syndrome and all that. But
they fucking nailed it.
They murdered it. Dude, it was so on the money.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to pinpoint something the movie did wrong. Like, just flat out, black and white wrong.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can nitpick and find something, but overall, this was an amazing product.
Yeah, all I have is nitpicks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to the point where I'm so surprised by the quality of this movie that I didn't expect to have to ask myself the question, is this better than Into the Spider-Verse? But here I am now questioning myself, is this better than Into the Spider-Verse?
I mean, to be continued.
Yeah, TBD, yeah. For sure. I mean, yeah, so with that being said, we can kind of go ahead and get into some of the more specifics about why this movie is so goddamn good. So I'll start off with this. You and I were talking about this, actually, about the length of this movie. And I looked it up, and I believe that the runtime is officially 2 hours and 20 minutes. Animated movies normally aren't that long for for several reasons. And this might be the longest animated movie I think that's probably a good bet. But man, this movie earns that runtime.
Yeah, it really does, dude. They use every minute of that really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They and like you said earlier, it's hard to find anything wrong about this movie. And like the only thing I have would be like a few nitpicks, but in terms of like things that are like, oh man, well I wish we would have did this instead of that. Like I don't really have a whole lot of notes here for them. And who knows, maybe that'll change on second viewing, but I gotta be honest, I thought that this movie top to bottom was just it was amazing.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. Yeah, brother, this was such, and again, I cannot stress how much fun it was to watch this movie. Like, not only was this just a great movie overall, but I was having a great time in my seat.
Yeah.
I had to keep moving my popcorn because I'm laughing so much. It was just a phenomenal product put on screen. And it's like, oh my gosh, they knew when things would land, they knew when things would hit. It was the appropriate amount of comedy, and it was just so awesome.
Everything blended so well in this movie. I mean, like, obviously, if nothing else, I had confidence that this movie would have amazing visuals because the first one had amazing visuals. And I mean, I think they damn near stepped it up because now almost every universe has its own distinct art style.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a really cool kind of thing they do here. And they still don't skimp on any of the animations. They get more creative with the actions and the web slinging. I mean, so bare minimum, this movie is another visual masterpiece for me.
Agreed. Yeah. Homies, if you remember, Into the Spider-Verse itself was also a visual masterpiece, which, if I recall correctly, for the Homies, the Homies Awards ceremony at the end of the year, we were even discussing between this and Doctor Strange, which one had the better visuals, you know?
Right.
And it...
Yeah.
I mean, this year, I don't see no Doctor Strange coming around the corner of being the same year as Across the Spider-Verse to compete for that award this going around. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I think, if memory serves correctly, Into the Spider-Verse won Best Visuals, but it didn't compete with Doctor Strange. It competed with Infinity War and won.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is, wow.
I remember we discussed, like, which one had better visuals to a degree. Like, we had that competition. Yeah. But that is a fair point. That it was, dude, what a good year.
That was a great year, right?
That was a great year. God, man. Wow.
And we got Black Panther that year. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we had a great year.
There's not been another year like it. Yeah, gum.
Yeah, 2018 was an unstoppable year.
Yeah, I didn't realize how well fed we were that year, Dad.
Oh, yeah. We had to hit a peak before we hit that pandemic year.
Dude, we had a buffet before we hit that pandemic.
Right.
We said, you want some brisket? Dope, man. You want some backyard barbecue? Also dope. Okay, cool.
Here you go.
And here's the steak, too, because why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
You might get hungry again.
You guys can decide which movies I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. But this movie really has very little fat on it, and that's so surprising for an animated movie and for a movie that has so much going on. Like, there's so many different moving pieces here in this movie.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about it at the end, like, man, like, there's this thing that they got to do, and then this thing, and then this other thing, and oh my goodness, when we get to the spoiler field section and start talking about some of the shit they have going on.
Dude, we're going to be like that freaking meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with like the yarn and the crazy man at the board. That's going to be us, like trying to piece everything together.
I wasn't ready for this.
No, me neither. Yeah. But here's the surprising thing, homies. There's a lot of parts and a lot of fun pieces, and there's a lot of like very cool plot points, which I'm saying that very generally right now. it works.
Yes.
That's the surprising thing. That's a note that I have to highlight here too, homie, because there's been many movies in the past we've made fun of and poked holes at and discussed in length because it's like, hey, they're trying too hard. They're doing too many things. I mean, great example, Spidey 3. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3.
Good point.
You're trying way too hard. You put too much weight on that barbell. You can't lift it, son. It's gonna be a funny video and Jim fails later on YouTube.
You gotta do that awkward motion where you tilt the bar to one side and you let the plate slide off, and then
And you gotta pretend that ain't nobody in the gym watched you, but everybody saw.
And those people will be assholes because nobody came to help you.
Exactly. So. That's bad. That's actually a really good point too. What a shitty gym.
Hell yeah. And then also, you mentioned how comedic this movie was and how many of the jokes landed. I mean, this movie also had me dying laughing as well. But on top of that, when we get to like the serious moments, there's no tonal whiplash. Like, it feels earned, and it doesn't feel like we're going from one extreme to the other. We gradually get there, and those moments are earned.
Yeah.
So,
dude, so well done, man.
Yeah.
And actually, I gotta admit, I was so thankful that the funny moments were as funny as they were because I have a very powerful laugh. I am not unaware of this. I am fully aware because I am still, to this day, the asshole at the party who will, like, chuckle and laugh at his own jokes, you know? And I'm like, hey, it's cool. I think I'm working on it. I don't know. But I'm like, hey, I'm laughing really loud in this movie theater. Oh, someone else is laughing really loud in this movie theater too. Okay, I'm not the one voice in the front row laughing at some inappropriate stuff again.
Although from prior experiences, it makes me laugh harder when I realize you're the only person laughing in a whole theater full of people.
Right? Oh my gosh, so true.
I mean, and it could be something that's not funny, like a character just fucking dies, and Kevin would be dying laughing.
It's so true. A child got tackled on screen. I'm like, yeah. Watch that kid get tackled. I don't give a fuck about your kid.
I'm like, it's not supposed to be funny. I acknowledge that it is funny, but you shouldn't be laughing at this. Yeah.
It's so good.
But no, thankfully there's no moments like that where Kevin inappropriately laughs at something.
I have an inappropriate laugh so much.
Yeah. One thing that I thought the movie would have a problem with, and that maybe some could argue that there is a little bit of an imbalance. There are a lot of characters in this movie. And I think that for the most part, they all land, but to varying degrees of success for me. So...
Agreed. That's fair. They introduced quite a few characters, and maybe that is something I would talk about in the second half. But I realized the road I was walking down. I saw the big neon sign and said, "Nah, dog. We'll wait. It's cool. We'll let that simmer on the back."
That
of the
road
grill.
led to spoiler territories.
Exactly. Yeah. That road was Spoilersville. Don't break the rules. So. To talk around what I want to say until later on, like, true, there are so many characters, and I will say the ones that we see the most, they definitely land. Like, I don't think I have a problem with any of the main characters, whether good or bad or whatever in between. I don't know. I will say that there were so many other characters, however, as well. Did they land? In my mind, yes, but that's because I have a greater idea of what's to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's fair. And so, I mean, we can talk a little bit about the ones that were in the trailer. So obviously we get Spider-Gwen, or Spider-Woman now, which is a much better name than Spider-Gwen.
It really is. Because, like, well, what a stupid name. Like,
it's a dumb name.
Who is this chick?
Yeah.
This clearly isn't my daughter.
Right.
Hey, Spider-Gwen, you're under arrest.
It'd be like if I were a superhero. My name is Super Q. You'll never figure it out.
You have a big Q on your chest and everything. I'm like,
is he Quail Man?
Brother, what? Brother, I don't think this is working.
No one ever gets my secret identity. Yeah, but,
brother, you don't even hide the beard. You don't even hide most of the face.
Yeah, I don't even have a mask.
Eye mask.
Oh yeah, I rock a clear face shield. No one will ever know who I am. Yeah,
you're talking like the COVID clear face shield.
Yeah. which ironically enough also didn't work. Like there's a whole big ass gap in that
It
thing.
really is.
But-
It's like, I'm sorry, it's keeping all your spit from fluttering
Right.
out, but you're really gonna see how much you actually let go
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, thankfully they changed over to Spider-Woman.
Yeah,
and
so
I mean,
much better.
yeah, even in the comics, I was glad when they realized that okay, we can't. She's becoming, less of like a one-note joke, and we're using her more and more. Let's give her like a real name.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jessica Drew, who is also in the movie, but there's another Spider-Woman now. So
Right.
And without getting into spoiler territories here, Gwen gets I think even more screen time in this movie than she did in the first one.
I actually mentioned, I didn't mention this, I'm about to mention this, will to have mentioned. I will to have mentioned this to you now that I'm just trying to be confusing at this point, don't mind me. But I did have an interesting conversation prior to this about the new Spider-Man movie. Oh, what's that going to be like? Someone made the comment that Spider-Gwen, which now thankfully we know Spider-Woman, awesome, that she was going to be the main protagonistic force. And I was like, oh, that's really cool,
Yeah.
I didn't make a counterpoint. I understand. I'm like, the old vet at the back of the bar who's like, amateurs. When I hear comic book discussions now, I just kind of like sit and listen and wait for them to finish a discussion, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't disagree because I don't know. I didn't see the movie yet. This was
Right.
last week, dadgummit.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, that's interesting. And thinking about that comment you just made in regards to like what we just saw, yeah, I would dare argue the mantle is shared. Yeah.
Yeah, it could definitely be argued, and you know what, like you can make the argument that in that regard, this movie is a bit of a bait and switch, but the way that the story is being told here, she is an actual. I mean, she's a good character, just like she was in the first one. She just gets more screen time.
Right.
And
I would argue that she like shares the protagonistic mantle, but I would still argue that our boy Miles is
the main.
Yeah. It's still very centered for obvious reasons we discuss later.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. So Gwen does get a good bit more screen time. We get to sit with her more, because Into the Spider-Verse, they do the whole thing where like they go into like the montage origin story and whatnot. We kind of get to delve more into her and her origin and how she's been since the events of the first movie. And I mean, all that is played out really well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie here. Maybe mild spoiler, but there is maybe a part in the movie here. I'm not gonna say when, but like you sit with Gwen so long, I'm like, is Miles gonna show up?
Well, that was the part where I was like, I guess my friend was right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Cool.
I was like, I kind of really wanted to see Miles Morales. Is she in this one?
I'm sitting there. I wish I was clever enough to think of this in the moment, but I'm sitting here now wishing I had thought to myself, like, man, comic book movies really love Haley Steinfeld right now. Like,
Yeah.
dadgum. She's like the small white girl version of Pedro Pascal right now for these comic book movies. We gotta see what else she comes out with.
Whoa! Now we gotta get Haley and Pedro in the same thing and see what happens.
Yes. Who knows what thing that could be? There's so many avenues.
So many avenues. But regardless, she's gonna be the young upstart who looks up to the grizzly old man who doesn't want to deal with this shit. They'll both just play their best roles.
Right. Have you seen that Nicolas Cage movie about Nicolas Cage with Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, the unbearable weight of massive talent or something like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I haven't
I
seen it.
I still gotta watch that
Same.
shit too, man. I've been told nothing but the most hilarious things.
Right. That movie has to be great.
It has to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just think about like the one Pedro Pascal role where he doesn't play a Western character,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, we can talk a little bit about Miles here too. I mean,
No. Why would we? You say we could. Why would we?
that's a good point. We just said that this is Gwen's movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, when you do finally get to Miles, they do a great job of quickly having you feel like, oh, okay, yeah, now things are
Yeah. One other comment I want to make here, because this was something that's always a great flavor to me. Like I highly respect it when a movie production studio, whatever you want to call it, company. I use too many words. They take time to actually like give you this as an audience. They had such a bomb soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
But not only a bomb soundtrack, they just used music so well.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Gwen had her music, but then as soon as we get Miles in, he's got his music.
Right.
Yeah. And it changes for each Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, and it's phenomenal. Like there's a point in the movie, and again, we'll talk much more about this in the spoiler section. But they play a classic song, "Heart of the City," and man, and it's a great song, and I mean they definitely call attention to it in a great moment in the movie, and it just really does a great job of heightening the tension. Yeah, it was some good shit. But I do agree, the music and just the overall score of this movie was great.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
I mean, they and again, like the Homies Award this year, just to remind you guys, it's going to be up to you. So all of you are deciding which movie wins what award. So will Across the Spider-Verse take Best Music, or will it be Guardians 3? That's up to you, or some other movie. That's on you guys.
But I will be disappointed if you choose incorrectly. Wait, who said that? Okay, who's in this room?
Yeah. I mean, hell, when Into the Spider-Verse came out, like I remember it had to compete with the Black Panther score, and I was like, oh boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And who knows? Maybe the Miss Marvel score will just murder. I mean, who knows, man? Oh my gosh!
You homies are so lucky that as of yet, this thing is not being filmed. You can only see what Kevin was up to over here.
What? I wasn't up to nothing. I wasn't up to nothing at all. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun. Are you having a good time? I'm having a great time over here. Oh man.
But no, Miles is I mean, yeah, he's fucking great in this movie, man.
So good. Yeah.
Somebody online made this statement, and I wanted to dispute it, but then I realized that they were probably right. And after seeing this movie, they are definitely right. But someone said that, man, from his movie appearances to his video game appearances, Miles Morales is better in other media than he is in comic books. And I was like, what? Well,
yeah, I was about to say,
yeah. And it's like, and it's true because, it's different with Peter. Peter has, like 60 years of history and 60 years of incredible stories that the movies draw from. Whereas with Miles, he's been around 12 years and he's got a great start, true. But really, once you start a departure from that, his stories get less and less impactful, and the writing for him, unfortunately, has been less and less impactful. Whereas in the video games and in these movies, they've done such a great job with them.
Yeah. Now, as the expository conversation, which obviously doesn't take place under, normal circumstances as one would have to another in public.
Of course.
We have Brian Michael Bendis to thank for the creation of Miles Morales.
That is correct.
And then, we had some cool stories at the first get-go. Very interesting, very cool ones. Definitely more inclusive ones, one would argue, with interesting diversity flavors going added in. But then, I guess as of recent years, like many comics, not just in Marvel's wheelhouse, but also maybe DC as well, have been sucking absolute sweaty dick.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
and sweaty dick. I want you all to understand I said sweaty.
Sweaty. Oh. But, and that's not to take any unnecessary digs at Marvel or DC. Like, they both have, they're both really struggling right now. But they both also have some really good stories going on as well.
It's not that hard. You use soap and water. Bath or shower, whatever works,
Oh, shit.
Excuse me, what do I know? Yeah. I'm just a man who bathes regularly. I forgot about these bits, dog. Oh, man.
Shit.
Okay.
God damn
All right.
it.
I'm focused. We're back.
But Miles, his growth has been. I'm sorry. Have I talked to you? Yeah, I've talked to you about this. Because I was just thinking about how Miles is so much better in the video games and in the movies than he is in the comics.
Bro, we were just talking about that on the route home. Yeah. Ride home. Excuse me.
And I don't know if you remember this, but for like one of the cold opens, you were still here for this, but I talked about how a writer had did one of the many like what if series where like they just take two tired tropes and put them together. And this one was, what if Miles Morales was Thor? And it was like they turned like the Bronx into like it was Bronx with the Asgard themes, and like it was just a bunch of stereotypes in that comic book that really just downplayed Miles and just made him look like a typical stereotype who had nothing else to offer. And I'm like, this right here in a nutshell is just wrong with a lot of comic books. It's not the diverse characters; those are amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's the complete lack of competency when it comes to writing diverse characters and not really knowing how to do so without just boiling them down to stereotypes. So Miles was just like a Timberland wearing, like I mean, just every trope you can think of, they just kind of put in that, and I really drilled that when I saw it online, and that just got me thinking about one of the many instances. But
I remember that cold open. I remember that discussion because I was like, I remember I probably made the same face like Miles Morales is Thor. What the?
I mean, they did so many of those,
Of course.
But, anywho,
what if Captain Marvel didn't suck dick? And what if she was something else? And what if Peter Quill was?
You mean when she was Miss Marvel? Yeah. She was a good character back then. Yeah, I never seen someone downgrade so hard.
That's a fair point, actually. Like, it only happened once she got when they tried the Marvel costume.
When they tried to elevate her from a B character to an A character. Here's the thing they don't understand: that shit is dictated by the audience, not by the creators. So you can't make an A tier character; they have to be made by the fans,
right?
And that's the problem with Captain Marvel.
Jerks.
Yep. But yeah, Miles in this movie is, this kid's amazing. Mm-hmm. And, which, by the way, all the voice acting in this movie is really top-notch stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everybody is on their A game, and I often wonder what's done first. So, like, I assume that, like, the script is obviously written first, but then, like, with the VFX house, like, the art houses, are they then doing the animations for the script next, or are they doing the
it's gotta be the voice. It's gotta be the voice, yeah. And maybe what they're doing is like they're showcasing the scene and they can like animate it up to a point and then do the mouths later.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. That seems like counterintuitive to me a little bit. Right. But like at least like rough sketches of like, hey, here's the scene, this is the moment. It's high intensity, high drama, impact, think climactic moment ordeal. Boom, go. And it's like, oh, then my voice acting it does this, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, because it has to be the voice acting because it's like certain actors they'll pause at a certain moment or they add their own inflections to it, or they add like an ad hominem, or they'll just add something on to it which couldn't have been in the script, So I was just wondering about that because there's so much animation that goes into these movies,
right?
The
only scenes I could see them animating before putting in the voice acting for is any moment the Spider-Man mask is
down. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, any moments where they're swinging. Because how much dialogue do you need for those?
Right?
And like you said, any moments where the mask, but even when the mask is actually no, never mind. They do take the less strenuous route when it comes to that, because in certain games or movies when they're talking, even with the mask on, you can see the mouth at least
Right.
moving up and down.
You see a little bit of the.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, remember, this movie does a lot of this too, especially with, I guess many animated movies do, any animation really. But this one particularly is super noticeable because of the characteristics. The eyes are really emotional too. And so
Yeah.
anytime that Spidey's conversing, the eyes like
Right.
are very dramatic, you know?
Yeah.
Just because he's got them big ass Spidey
big
eyes.
Spidey eyes, yeah.
And they're great, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. They're hilariously great. Yeah.
It's
they're
one of
awesome.
those things that you can only do in animation. You know, you can't do that live action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless you're doing Deadpool. But even then, Deadpool is different. You know.
Yeah. I mean, Deadpool is like live action and CG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
The plot for this movie. So I think for me, like there's twofold. You know, there's two things that I was really concerned about. One was the plot, and the other one was like just how many characters they included in this thing. I'm like, how are they going to be able to pull this thing off? Like, it's just going to be a fucking cash grab, you know, because the first one was so good and everyone loves it.
Well, it's a cash grab, but
But it's a good damn cash grab, you know.
they got them open mitts, man. They're really going for it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's the first one is like it's like when that Popeye's chicken sandwich came out, and it's like, oh, okay, what?
Oh my gosh. No, I need to hear you finish. Because I'm like, what the fuck? It's like the Popeye's chicken sandwich, Quentin. That's what it's like. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Please, finish your metaphor. Your simile, sir.
Oh, I thank you. The first Into the Spider-Verse is like the Popeye's chicken sandwich, you see. Because when that bitch first came out, it was like, oh, okay, well, that looks good. Maybe I'll try that sometime. And then you hear word of mouth, actual people being like, no, this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And that drives more people to go get that goddamn chicken sandwich. Into the Spider-Verse lives and dies on the word of mouth. And just the fact that critics and fans alike were like, this movie is the bomb diggity and you need to go check it out. So it is a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Now,
thank you for showing. Let me walk through that with you.
yes.
That was a journey. Because I was just like, brother, are you hungry? Do you need a sandwich? We could get some chicken sammies, bruh. I mean, it's kind of late. I don't know if we can right now.
We can't get a Popeye's chicken sandwich. We're going to get like a McChicken, and that's not the same thing.
Nah, that's trash.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
Not clearly.
But I mean, Popeyes. You want to talk?
Right.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I'll plug your guys' stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, I like some chicken sammies. What are we
Right.
doing?
You can pay me in chicken. That's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah, this whole studio is gonna smell like fast.
Oh,
food.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now it smells like comic books, and I love it.
Yeah, right now it's great. Yeah.
But yeah, with that sponsor, yeah, it's going to smell like straight grease and chicken.
So good.
Goddamn. But yeah, surprisingly, the story here is they do a really great job with it now. It's they travel some roads that maybe have been traveled before, but they do a really good job of paving those roads.
They do.
You know,
They do.
I mean, like the whole idea of, you guessed it, there is a Spider-Verse again, and the reasonings for it and how that all comes about is very well done. And I think that does tie into two other characters that we have to talk at least loosely about.
Yeah.
And that would be Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, and the character, The Spot.
So, real quick, brother,
Yeah.
Without going into the movie version at all, if you would give us a quick rundown, first on Miguel O'Hara. O'Hara?
Yeah.
Thank you. Miguel O'Hara, if you could give us a quick rundown on him, and what makes Spider-Man 2099 different than like your standard Peter Parker or Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And then, ditto for a Spot.
Gotcha.
Indeed.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 2099 takes place in the year, you guessed it, 2099.
I don't believe you.
Oh. Miguel O'Hara, think about it like this, and this comparison has been made several times, but it's like Miguel O'Hara is to Peter Parker what Terry McGinnis is to Bruce Wayne. You know, so like Batman
Yes.
Beyond.
So
You know,
Nick
but-
Fury took some mom and dad go-go juice and manipulated the hell out of it to create a new Peter Parker in the future.
Well, see, when you put it that way, no.
So no go juice.
Yeah.
No go.
No, none of that. Yeah. Miguel. Miguel actually isn't really directly tied to Peter in any kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's admittedly the first thing I heard when.
Yeah.
Okay. Please.
But I guess it meant more so in the case of you have like the original, and then you have like this futuristic version that has like a kind of a superior suit and more bells and whistles.
Yeah,
And that's
okay.
kind of what Miguel is here. So Miguel, I think he is just a tinge bit stronger than Peter is. He does have the claws, and which the movie does showcase.
Mm-hmm.
He's not quite that big in the comics.
Dude, he was jacked.
He was massive here in this movie.
big,
Yeah, he was a big fuck here. But no, Miguel does have. The last time I really read any of his stuff was probably the late '90s. You know,
Yeah. Right.
yeah. But I always really liked the concept of that character, and this is really before I discovered. Oh, yeah, there's also a future Batman. You know.
Nice.
Yeah. But as far as like the Spot goes, I know less about him because he is like a C-list fucking villain. And the only times I really ever see the Spot in the comic books is like, I don't want to compare him to like Kite Man and how like Batman, you know how like in the comic books Batman stops
yeah.
Kite Man on the way to like the real threat, you
Hell
know?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of how they treat the That's kind of how they treat the Spot. He's not Kite Man level sad, you know, but at the same time, it's like, how seriously are you going to take a character like this?
You want to know something awesome that happened to me?
What's that?
Quick intermission, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Okay, short story time with your favorite Uncle Kevin. So, this girl that I'm seeing right now.
Yes.
We're going to respect her and not give her name out here, you know, in case any of you do, for some reason, stalk me.
Scarlett Johansson. I guess that, so you guys don't have to.
Thank you. But yeah, we were, you know, chatting it up or something. I made like an off comment and she made it a comment or something. And like I followed up with one of the hell yeah, you know. And I was instinctively trying to imitate the notorious Kite Man.
Right.
And you know what she followed up with?
What's that?
It was fascinating. It was so amazing. This is when I knew we were going to be together. She followed it up with like, you know, you sound like this character I know. And like immediately my brain was like, go on. Oh, talk to me. What's going on? Who do you know? And I was like, oh yeah. But you know, real time conversation. So, oh really? Which character are you thinking about? It's like, well, you know, he's this green guy from did you ever watch the Harley Quinn show on HBO? And I was like, are you talking about Kite Man right now? And she's like, yeah, you know it. And I was like, hell yeah. Made me so happy.
Good old Kite Man.
She was like, yeah, you said hell yeah like him just then. I was like, yes! God dang, that's all I've ever wanted. That's not true. It's one of the many things I've wanted.
Yeah.
But
it's on the list.
it's on the list. And that's important. Okay, thanks for the intermission. We're back.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, the Spot is one of those characters who, like, you see him in the panels, and he always gave me a chuckle whenever I would see him because I'm like, I see why you're frustrating, but I also see why, like, Spider-Man just deals with you and moves on, you know?
Right, treats him like the villain of the week type thing.
Right. Because because I mean, it is frustrating. You have a character like the Spot who, you know, has this power of basically portal manipulation, and you go to throw a punch at the guy and you end up punching yourself or, you know, like a teammate because of how he creates these portals. But at the same time, you know, look at what all, especially Peter has dealt with. And it's like, okay, like I'm not dealing with you.
Yeah.
I have dealt with alien symbiotes, crazed businessmen turned goblins. Like I've dealt with so much.
And a goddamn bully with a rhino Iron Man suit.
A man stuck in a fucking rhino mech tank. All right. I am not dealing with this.
You know, when you put it that way.
But will say this: I liked the Spot a lot more than I thought I would in this movie, simply because I'm like, how much can you do with the Spot?
Right.
Especially, like as the primary antagonist. Like, okay, the movie, he's in it enough so that he doesn't get, so that he gets enough screen time to understand like his motives and what he's doing. But he's not in the movie so much that you just start to see, the strings pulling this man up.
Right.
And as far as like Miguel O'Hara goes, I liked him. They made him maybe a little too edgelordy.
Oh yeah, like straight up, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, out of all like the main kind of side characters, he's maybe the one who could have used maybe a bit more in terms of like getting him from like A to B. This motherfucker kind of went like from A to Z in terms of like his personality and how he gets to where he is at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And just this is another minor nitpick, and I'll definitely get more into this in the spoiler-filled section. But like, by the time we get to like the big kind of plot reveal here versus what Miles, feels he needs to do, and I'm like, I even leaned over to you and I said as much. I said, man, this could really be interpreted like as a villain origin, because that's kind of what it feels like when you really look at what's going on here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is actually a really clever observation, because, it makes me think about the common discussion of like how to trick an audience, make a character likable and then learn their motive.
Yeah. And especially when you follow their POV.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's step one for making them likable.
Yeah.
You see them from their point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to make a character a villain. You see them from the other guy's point of view, and then they have a goal that counteracts the first guy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
great conversation.
Yeah, I look at it this way, and it's only because I glanced over at that statue. But like, if you were to read a version of The Dark Knight Returns that reads from Superman's POV, 100% Batman's the villain.
Oh, Batman's the asshole.
Yeah.
Like, this guy put on this suit and beat me up.
Right. Like, the president sent me here because of all the chaos you're causing.
Right. I'm America's Boy Scout. I'm the planet's Boy Scout.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't give up your identity. I didn't do any of that. I'm here to tell you as a man, Bruce, why are you shooting me with kryptonite?
Is that a small child in the tank?
Yeah, you put a small child in this tank. That's just that's just an example of like get the kid out of that tank, Bruce.
All I can think of is Superman. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's so funny to me. It's such an aftershock effect, but like all I'm thinking about is Superman looking over like, is that a goddamn kid in that tank?
Bruce, that's a goddamn child in that tank. Get that kid out of that tank.
I'm coming down. Okay. Whew.
But we say all this just to point out how important perspective is to understanding character motives and also character manipulation as well. Because you read The Dark Knight as is, and clearly Superman is the antagonistic force here. He's coming here to stop Bruce from saving and cleaning up Gotham.
Yeah. And
this is, Bruce's last hurrah. And the same thing can be said here about this movie as well. And we'll get to it in the spoiler field section. But Miles Morales, what he wants to do is maybe counterintuitive to what some of our other characters want to do. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it from Miles' perspective, and I think that for most people, you're rooting for Miles. But I'm like, maybe it's just the podcaster in me. I've been doing this shit too long now, but I'm like, you step back from Miles Morales and how much you like him and really look at the grand scheme of things here, and it's like, I'm not saying that they're going about it the right way, but Miles, what he's doing right now, can definitely be considered something that leads to a villain downfall.
Right, yeah. Without any argument, and we'll discuss this comment much further later, it's selfish. Mm-hmm. And selfish isn't inherently evil. Don't get me wrong. Thanks, Ayn Rand. Shut the fuck up. But that doesn't mean it can't be evil sometimes.
Yeah.
And in this particular time, it's like, whoa, bro, you starting to sound like you got a twirling vaudevillain mustache going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, you got the cackle laugh. What's up, man?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, and there's something interesting that Miguel O'Hara says to Miles, and all I could think about, man, was Unbreakable, one of my favorite movies.
So good.
Yeah, you know, the end of that movie, when Elijah, Sam Jackson's character, when he says, "I am not a mistake," you know,
fucking good, dude.
yeah, phenomenal stuff, man. And I was just like, man, that's kind of what Miles is going through right now. You know, that whole spiel. Yeah. Like, now that I know who you are, I know who I am. I know my role in this life. And, you know, just, amazing movie, amazing speech. Go watch it.
Yeah. So good, dude.
Yeah. Oh, man. Not to get us off on that movie.
I gotta see if Scarlett's seen that movie or not, man.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. So we're almost an hour into this thing, man. So let's kind of go ahead and give our final thoughts and score this bitch and then get into some spoilers.
Dude, I already know I want to give it, man. This was a straight 10 out of 10 for me. Like,
God,
I've only ever done that once on this show. Like, sure, there are nitpicky things that they could have corrected or made better, but straight up, this movie, I will happily go watch this shit again.
Yeah.
I will happily recommend this to friends and fam. 10 out of 10, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Drop mic. Not literally. That's expensive. How about
Hell
you?
yeah. Yeah, so I think that this is a movie just like Into the Spider-Verse. If you don't like Into the Spider-Verse, I have to question, like, what do you like?
Right. Do you enjoy pain?
And I'll say this: if you didn't like the art style of Into the Spider-Verse, then I don't think that this is really going to change your way of thinking on that. But I mean, I personally love the art style in these movies. I love the character development. I love the story here, which is so surprising because you would think that we'd all be tired of, you know, multiverse, and I mean, like, I'm tired of multiverse already.
Right.
But
Thank you, Phase 4.
Right. If Phase 4 had been better, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, multiverse. But
sure.
But now I'm like, fucking multiverse. Like,
right. Right.
Yeah. Here's to you, Flash. Don't fuck up Flashpoint.
Yeah.
That movie also looks really good. But
really
anyways,
does,
yeah. I really enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the multiple moving pieces here. I enjoyed the personal stories, especially with Miles, and then even with Gwen and her personal story. I really dug those. I love all of the cameos and Easter eggs. There are a lot.
So many.
And most of them are very much in your face, so don't worry, you probably won't miss them.
Right.
Unless you go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, don't do that. Be smart. Go before.
Please do yourself a favor. Go pee before. Or pee in your seat if you have to. Pee in your neighbor's popcorn bucket. That's what I did.
Bring a water bottle. That's what I do. Make sure it's a big bottle.
Kevin, I just said I peed in your popcorn, but...
Wait. What? I laughed before I could finish the setup. Damn it. Oh, man.
But I think that, you know, top to bottom, this is a great fucking movie. And man, this is really where, like, expectations and you know, like, what you... Where expectations like really kind of take over, because like I didn't expect this movie to be this fucking good.
Same.
And I was thoroughly surprised by it. But the action is top notch, and they somehow even top what they did in Into the Spider-Verse. They get so creative with the use of powers here. There will always be a part of me, even as good as this movie is, there's always a part of me that will just fucking hate derivative ass characters, and that's to a degree what this movie is about. You know, the Spider-Verse is about derivative versions of Spider-Man, and they're all over the place.
Like, the only thing that character is it's subgenre of Spider-Man, i.e. your PI Spider-Man, black and white, and your Lego Spider-Man, your brick and plastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Clone Saga was good when it came out in the 90s, but when Dan Slott came along and wrote like the Spider-Verse and then Spider-Geddon, I was like, I'm out. But I think that this movie takes Dan Slott's mediocre writing and definitely improves upon it.
Heck yeah.
As a whole, I got to give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. Like, that was the score I felt walking out of this movie, and I did not expect to give this movie a 9.5 walking into that theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Not that we were setting it up for failure.
No.
But, it
definitely not.
Yeah. I honestly thought I was just going to suffer from sequel syndrome, you know?
Yeah, but, sequel syndrome is... That can be damning to a movie, you know.
It can, very much so.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I expected, because, like, the first one, the animated flick, was like, oh, that was so good. It's going to be, like you mentioned earlier, how it could be a cash grab, and, like, story is just like, oh, we made easy money last time, let's just put in less effort. But
I don't think the trailers really do this movie justice, to be honest, because the trailers just kind of heighten my fear for this movie. Okay, they're just going bigger and thinking that that's going to equal better. Because that's what the trailers look like. You just see more spider people and, more zany colors and whatnot. But thankfully, that is not all this movie is. Like, there's a reason for it. And, I mean, the way that things play out all makes sense. Character motives make sense. So, I really enjoyed this movie. So, all right. Yeah, so...
Midway time.
I had, like, 3 different things I wanted to talk to you about, and I forgot, like, all 3. Yeah.
So Chattanooga's nice. I do a lot of outdoor climbing up there now, which is insanely fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. My fingers are rocks. They are unforgiving.
Your fingers can't be rocks, Kevin. That would be...
You see me reach over to my phone and just, like, crush it with, like, my pinch grip.
I'm just picturing you having like a fake hand that's made of stone, you know.
Cue, some things happened. Got bitten by a radioactive rock on the mountain.
Wait, Dwayne Johnson is in Chattanooga? And he's radioactive.
Yeah, he just ran by and just bit me. Can you imagine?
I was like, Kevin, you have to run that by me again. Like, wait a minute.
That's what he did.
Are you sure? Wait a minute. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
He fell out the sky. He was trying to get his his bearings all together and whatnot. I was on the rock wall because he fell up on the mountain. So I got off the wall to make sure homeboy was okay. It's like, bro, you just fell out the sky. Are you alive? Like, what's going on? Ambulance can't get up this mountain. I hiked up here. And he bit me.
And then he flew away?
Actually, yes. How'd you know? You must have seen him too.
God damn it.
And then I got a really late power. My fingers are made of rocks.
God damn.
It doesn't even like turn things to rock. It's just, no, they're just really hard fingers.
And there you have it, folks.
There you go.
There you have it.
And toes, because you need both to climb. So.
Oh shit. I talked to you about this a little bit. I think after the movie was over, but the PlayStation showcase that happened last week, and they showed 12 minutes of footage of the new Spider-Man game.
Yeah, you did talk to me about that.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks so good. That looked like Insomniac putting their dick on Sony's table, you know, and being like, "Look at this." That trailer was so damn good. First of all, I'm a huge fan of the 2018 Spider-Man game and the Miles Morales expansion. I think they're both incredible. But this one looks like they are just going above and beyond. I mean, first of all, they kill rumors like immediately and get straight to the point. They're like, yeah, the rumors are true. By the way, here he is. You start off seeing Peter in the black suit, in the symbiote suit.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yes. And the gameplay with that symbiote suit looks fucking clean. Like the shit that he does. And I'm like, well, yeah, he's Probably, definitely straight up killing people now. That's what that's what it looks like.
That's what I was joking about the whole time. He's like, what's a cyclone kick? The one where he like swings in the air, like, just barrels into a dude, and just, legs forward.
Yep.
And they like fall off the building. Like, oh,
yep.
Yeah, no, he died, Quentin. Right. He is a dead man. You fell off a 20-foot or 20 level skyscraper in New York City. Yeah, you're gone. You're splat.
The shit that I see, Spider-Man do with that symbiote suit looks sick as hell. At one point, there were like 4 enemies standing, kind of in front of Peter, and this actual gameplay, not cutscene footage, but you see like the symbiote suit that like shoots out 4 tendrils that grabs like the 4 dudes and like just fucking slams them.
So cool.
Yeah. There's this one guy who really got fucked over. Like a tendril shot out from the suit, grabbed him, slammed his ass against the wall, and then just tossed him. I'm like, oh, that's clean as fuck.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of really cool shit it did. And then it showcased Miles, because I was like, man, convince me to play as Miles.
Yeah, right, right.
Because if I had the choice between a symbiote suit Peter and a Miles, don't get me wrong, Miles has, the BioShock, not the video game. Venom Shock is what it's called, and the camouflage. But I'm like, give me something here. Right. But they really also upgraded Miles's offense a lot too. The Kraven shit looked phenomenal. Mm-hmm. You see him at the very beginning of the trailer, and he looks probably 1,000,000 times better than what the movie's gonna be.
So good, dude.
Yeah, and then the Lizard Man is also. The Lizard is also in the game as well.
Yeah,
and he looks like a miniature version of Godzilla. That motherfucker is huge. He is ginormous, and I'm like, okay, this game has me sold. And also Peter's demeanor when he's wearing that suit is like noticeably darker.
Yeah,
so
cool, dude.
Yeah. A lot of cool shit going on there.
Did they showcase a really funky dance scene? I gotta see the dance scene.
Nope, no dancing. They did that in the first Spider-Verse movie, ironically enough. Yeah, there was a scene close to the beginning with Peter, and he was giving his origin story, and he goes, at one point I had like a weird face, and it shows him doing the dance. Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was really good.
Yeah, that was Chris Pine, I believe. His Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Are you ready to talk about some spoilers?
I believe I am.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, here we are. If you guys are still here, that means you are fine and dandy with hearing spoilers for Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Mm-hmm. And it is Part 1 for a reason.
Yeah, and that was surprising to me. I didn't read the full title. I saw Across the Spider-Verse, and I said, "Oh, look, it's Spider-Verse 2. Cool, let's go see it." Like, that was the shortening of the title to me. Like, I did not read Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Because, dude, I was like, we're getting up to this point. I'm like, bro, how the fuck they going to resolve this in 10 more minutes? Yeah, like, this is so much. And then we saw To Be Continued. I'm like, oh, but.
Yep. A lot of people were caught off guard by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was even one guy in the theater. He said something to the effect of like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Everybody started laughing at that. Yeah. It's like.
And like, in your defense and a lot of people's defense, it's like I knew it because like I remember seeing like a headline like a year ago about how they were doing 2 movies.
Yeah.
For the sequel. And I was like, oh, okay. But in your defense, not only was that like I said, close to a year ago when they first made that announcement, but I looked at the poster on the way out and it does not say Part 1. It just says Across the Spider-Verse. So yeah, probably a lot of people didn't know that this is going to be a Part 1 and 2 type deal. They tried to pull a sneaky on us with a little twist there at the end, but they give enough context clues that I was able to pick up on pretty quickly here what they were doing. With Miles trying to go home, and because the spider that bit him, they explain it, at least in the movies, the spider that bit him isn't from Miles's dimension. It's not from Universe 1610, the Ultimate Universe. It's from some other universe,
the
42. Yeah, and when Miles said to go home, in that doohickey place she was at. That the spider.
The go home.
Go home.
Yeah, the go home. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It said it was sending him to Universe 42, and I was like, oh, buddy, he's fucked.
Yeah. And I had forgotten that he was in Universe 42. I saw the number and said, oh, cool, okay, awesome. I didn't remember that he's 1610 and not 42. And that's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
That's a lot. That's a whole big 4-digit number still.
Right. Oh, shit, something else I wanted to talk to you about, and I completely forgot. So this was announced recently, and I have a lot less faith in this, if I'm being honest. But Sony, they've announced that they're doing a live action Miles Morales.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm like, are you guys going to involve Disney in that? Because I think I would like Disney to be involved in the creation.
Yeah.
But I think that this is going to be something completely separate.
Oh.
And if I had to guess, and I want to get your thoughts on this, they are probably going to use, if I had to guess, Andrew Garfield to be Peter, which means his demise.
Yep.
And this is a lot of speculation on my part, but they have announced that they want to do a live action Miles Morales, which means that there's got to be a Peter, and that Peter has to die.
Yeah. No, I agree. That it's a sound theory. It makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, damn, bro, that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But also, if it's a Miles Morales live action, then are we gonna get the same origin story where he's like fighting the Prowler or something? Like they can't copy paste.
That's true. I mean, that's true. But
that's their own movie they're competing against.
But that's also, I mean, that is his origin. You have to start off with the Prowler stuff.
Yeah.
The interpersonal. I mean, that's how the comics did it. That's how the video game did it, and that's how the first movie did it. But at the same time, you're right. Do you want to retread that again?
Right. Like, is it really going to be a different level of enjoyment?
Right.
Is it going to be more or even as enjoyable if it's live action?
Yeah.
Also,
do you get Donald Glover?
Get out of my brain. Get out of my... You think some things change?
Oh no,
they never change.
They never change.
Well, I'm glad we got a hotline between that. There you go, dude. I was ecstatic. I think I literally grabbed your arm.
You did
when Donald Glover showed up on screen in the Prowler getup.
Prowler suit.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
That was very clever.
That was so goddamn good.
For those of you who don't remember, in Homecoming, it is it's Donald Glover. He plays Aaron Davis, aka the Prowler.
Yep. And so good.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't go by the Prowler, obviously. He's not there yet, but he has a lot of that he has like a shady background. He's dealing with some illegal stuff. And then we never kind of go back to it, probably because they jumped the gun, with the Miles Morales stuff. It also doesn't help that Tom Holland Spider-Man is like half Peter Parker, half Miles Morales,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But dude, that was just so clever to see that Easter egg like come full circle now. Mm-hmm. Like, bro upgraded. He was full on Prowler get up and everything.
Oh yeah.
And caught.
Yeah, and caught.
And caught, yeah. So cool.
I wonder how it felt to be caught by a cartoon.
I would have been upset. I would have been like, I'm sorry, is this Space Jam? What is going on here?
Right.
Yeah.
One of the goddamn Spider-Man Monstars caught me.
All right, yeah. What, you going to try to bring me to your world to help you fight something? What, you couldn't get Michael Jordan?
Right.
Or what was the second one?
I didn't watch the second one. It was LeBron, but
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I couldn't even remember the player. I was like,
God,
there's the second one. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Man, there were a ton of Easter eggs in this movie. I'm trying to remember what some of the other ones were.
We saw Andrew Garfield. We saw Tobey Maguire.
Yep. We saw mostly with like the, and this movie also proved the point I've been saying for a long time now, which is Spider-Man needs tragedy.
Yep.
So
true.
Yeah, and this movie just fucking nailed that shit home.
Yeah, they did. Like to hell and back.
Yeah.
We saw reference to the Peter Parker of Gwen's universe. That was interesting.
It was because of Captain Stacy, how he dies in Amazing Spider-Man 1. Yeah, and so we see Andrew Garfield, with the scene of him kind of cradling
the dad. Yeah,
Captain Stacy.
Well, no, I was also referring to like her universe where she's Spider.
Oh yeah, right.
And Peter Parker's like, hey, I want to be cool and superpower too, and Lizard Man juice. Hey,
I mean, and kudos to them for like, they really stuck to the canon with that. What little I do know about Spider-Gwen, it's her origin, and then I said, all right, that's cool. I'm gonna peace out now. Again,
you didn't go back to the party.
Yeah, as great as this movie is, I will always protest. Stop with the goddamn spider people. There's enough. There's enough.
This movie's an ad for that too.
Right.
The Scarlet Spider. It was so clever, dude. I'm trying to think of other references we saw. I don't know. It's hard to spot everything.
There's a pun. It's hard to spot.
Yeah. You're right. You got me. At the very beginning of the movie, something happened, and I saw it, and I want to make sure you saw it too. And if you didn't, I gotta go look it up later, like in a week or something, see what people, more talented than I with a computer screen do. But the movie started. It was black screen, and they had that weird art style, right?
Yeah.
So if you remember looking at the screen, see, this is the screen here, right? Right. First thing that happens is, remember the beginning of the movie starts off with like the epileptic scene of all the colors and the cool design spectrum thing. Well, it starts at the center, right? No, incorrect. The first thing that we see is something that pops up in the bottom corner of the theater screen. Now, homies who haven't seen the movie yet, who for some reason stuck around for this part, when you go watch it, or if you have already, tell me I'm not crazy. Leave us something in the comments to say, hey, I caught what it was. What was that? Because I saw something pop up, and it was fucking quick. Oh. Like a thirst trap on Instagram. Just bam, in and gone. And
I can pause that,
Yeah, you got to play the damn game. Yeah. But yeah, it pops up, goes away, and then the intro credits. I'm like, what was that? Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I know that was another Easter egg, in reference to your question. What was another one? There was a couple moments where I grabbed your arm and I was like, this is awesome,
The Venom Easter egg.
Yes! Yes, they got the store lady.
The convenience store lady, yeah. Bro, Spot goes to her universe.
She handles PTSD well.
Oh, yeah.
She's like
a trooper.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No big deal. Yeah.
You're not the first alien-esque creature to be here, so what do you want? Yeah.
She's like, okay, whatever. Hey, Eddie! Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there was definitely that. There was man, okay, so I'm pretty sure that Ganke is Miles' roommate at the school he goes to.
Yep.
He's only here again in like a cameo. First of all, he looks. They did this shit on purpose too. That motherfucker looked like he was in shape.
Yeah, like they put him like out of shape in position.
Yeah,
like I saw his arm. Yeah, he's got the tone.
Right,
he's setting up to be the hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin, yeah. And he knows Miles' secret.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, another reason why I say that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is like half Miles Morales. Ned in the movies is Ganke from the comic books, and Ganke is Miles's.
Yeah,
BFF.
Also, I want to comment on something. Miles is like, I don't really have many other friends besides, you, Gwen, and Peter. I'm like, what about Ganke?
Yeah,
he's in your room.
They barely ever hung out across these two movies.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reason I brought him up is because he was playing the Insomniac Spider-Man game.
Yep. So
I was like, this would be just thinking about it because Miles Morales and Ganke both are in that game.
Yeah. Like, he's like pulling up to a scene. He's like, wait a minute. Does that mean that's cutscene?
Right. What do you mean my dad dies? I guess that is the one difference, though. Peter does not die in that game because Insomniac is like, we're not going to kill off the cash cow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was a great Easter egg. Like,
Yeah.
They played it clever because the TV's just angled enough, and then
Right.
they distract you with like the whole like, are those my Nikes?
Yep.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Hell yeah. I love that the parents got more to do in this movie.
Agreed.
You know? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They got a lot more to do here. And I mean, it's to a great effect. Like they really, because like the parents are really the anchor for Miles Morales, you know.
Yeah.
And just to see how they kind of react to Miles. They think that he's just growing up, going through like the teenage growing pains and whatnot. And also, they really don't know what's going on, but they don't think. I don't know if they think it's anything as extraordinary as it is.
Right.
Maybe the mom does. I don't think the dad ever really. But maybe.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see like their dynamic there, and I think it's to the movie's benefit that didn't get resolved here. We have a whole nother movie.
Exactly. Yeah. They're doing it right, dude.
Yeah.
They're doing it good. That movie's already made somewhere too.
Oh yeah, it's got to be right.
Pissing me off. It's sitting on some some goddamn jump drive in some Hollywood office right now.
Even worse, Kevin, it's on a floppy disk.
Yo, motherfuckers! How dare you? You need at least 5 of them bitches.
Right. At least 5, he says. That's like a fucking Zoolander bit. This school is too small. It needs to be at least 3 times bigger. This man said that Across the Spider-Verse can fit on 5 floppy disks. 5 floppy disks can't even fit the title screen of that movie.
I'm dying. I fell off my chair almost. I'm barely on.
Oh, shit. Goddamn.
Fuck me in this chair. Okay, first off, floppy disks have come. I can't finish that shit.
Okay.
They've not come a long ways.
No.
They've done the opposite.
They've done the opposite.
They're fossils.
Yeah. Go ask a kid what a floppy disk is.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna look at it and be like, "Hey, you know what a floppy disk is?" He's gonna be like, "What?
A floppy dick? What?"
No, that's not what I. Forget it.
Yep. Okay, what the hell were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, Easter eggs. Yeah, that's right.
So
I mean, yeah, we already talked about the Donald Glover Easter egg. That was, that's not an Easter egg. That's a straight up cameo.
dude, that was such a cool cameo.
Yeah.
It's so unexpected.
Right.
Yeah. Like right in the middle of Smack Dad's Spider-Man headquarters.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you think they'd have more buildings around the headquarter building so they could swing around the building?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a nitpick, but like, whenever Spider-Man does something like super extravagant, especially any of the Spider people here in this movie, I'm like, how much webbing do you have in those cartridges?
Right.
I'm like
we see them empty at the end. It's like, Yeah.
There are a few minor things you have to overlook just for the sake of the plot. Like when I leaned over to you and said, Gwen can dodge those bullets.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like just press O. Come on. Yeah.
Just press O. I promise you get out of the way. You don't need the web.
Right.
Yeah.
Or when Miles is like, "Oh, I gotta convince my mom I'm Spider-Man," and she's like, "Okay, honey, whatever." He's like,
All you gotta do is jump in the
yeah,
ceiling.
literally. I was like, bro, Andrew Garfield did it before. You jump and grab the ceiling and crawl the fuck around. You just did it on some bank tower, whatever that was. Yeah. With that all too trying to be adorable upside down scene. Yeah. So. Yeah.
The one character that I wish had hit better with me was Jessica Drew.
Agreed.
Yeah. I am a Spider-Woman fan. This is getting confusing now because we're talking about multiple Spider-Women.
Yeah, Jessica Drew fan. Yes.
But I mean, call me chauvinistic if you must, but I think it's stupid whenever I see like especially comic books and movies of like pregnant women going out there in the fray. That's about like sending a pregnant woman into war. Like, you realize how fucking dumb that is?
That's how you get Frank Castles, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Your baby's gonna come out and be like, "You think what you did? You think you're gonna send me to the loony bin?"
Well, see that's bold of you, Kevin, to assume that the baby's gonna make it. I'm like,
that is dark and fair.
Yeah, this is very dark and very fair. I'm like, okay, I get it. You're a spider person. One swift kick to the stomach, and that baby's down for the count. Get your ass out the fucking battlefield. I'm sorry.
Who's the baby daddy?
Excellent question. I remember in the comic books when Jessica was pregnant, she was out there fighting crime. I don't remember if there was an actual father or some comic book malarkey. I didn't read that bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those weird things where, like, I think it's supposed to be empowering, but it's stupid.
It is, yeah. It kind of fights, like, logic.
Especially when they're so devoid of what's going on that even when it's right in their face, they still ignore it. Mm-hmm. Like when she says something to Peter, like Schlubby Peter Parker, who's also in the movie, when he has Mayday with him, his daughter. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That is irresponsible of him, isn't it?
Right.
Jessica, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very irresponsible. Yeah.
Driving around on a motorcycle with a baby in the belly.
Right. I'm like, yeah, that is very irresponsible of Peter to be swinging around with his baby. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, they didn't even try to, point out the hypocrisy in a joke or anything. They just let it slide.
To some degree, somehow we never see her get off the motorcycle, which is weird. We see her once walking around. We see her
walking around, yeah. But that's about it, huh?
Yeah.
Walking
For the most part, she's like always on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Which also, what?
Another question you have to ask, Kevin, and this is like, getting into the weed of it, but
yeah.
Jessica Drew, like, she just named herself Spider-Woman. She's not associated really, with Peter Parker,
yeah,
or any of the Spider people.
Could she do webbing? Because they show her doing webbing out of her fingers.
No.
So okay, I didn't think so.
No,
I never saw that before in my life.
No. Yeah, this version of Spider-Woman is a really unique version. That's what me saying. Like, I don't think that's really a canon version, but
yeah, okay.
It was a really unique version. I love Issa Rae, who voices Jessica Drew in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wish they had done more for that character to make it more palatable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because as it is right now, it's like you're the pregnant woman who's second in command, but I don't think that a pregnant woman should be out there. I mean, hey, like I said, I will be your chauvinistic asshole, homies, if that's what you need me to be right now.
All the homies okay.
There's always one though.
There's always one.
Yeah. See, what else? So yeah, let's talk a little bit about good old Miguel O'Hara here in this movie. Yeah. So we get Miguel, and like right off the bat, he's
is he part vampire?
He does have like vampiric-esque powers, yeah, to a degree. I bet like the way that they kind of show him here.
So he's a were-spider.
So for me, like, it's mostly like the claws that I see him use. Like, there's one moment where we see him like take his mask off and he's got the things.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember if that's a thing or not. It probably is, since he does have the claws. I do distinctly always remember him with the claws. But
like, what was he gonna do?
I don't know.
Because it makes sense that those are spider fangs, because spiders have fangs that bite. We obviously, because all these guys have been bit now by all these radioactive goddamn spiders. Stop radioacting spiders, people. You want your crime to succeed? Let spiders reign free.
Is it sad that it makes more sense that there would be like a Hulk verse, because we as humans just love fucking with like nuclear radiation.
We have the multi-rainbow color spectrum of fucking enraged Hulks, yeah.
Which, by the way, there's too many of those, too. There's also too many Wolverines. There's too many of a lot of things.
There's too many of a lot of things.
Yeah.
What's a fan favorite? Too many of it.
Too many of it. Yep. Yeah, way too many of it.
Yep.
Like the Bat family, too many people in that goddamn family.
It's a Bat family tree now.
Yeah.
Bat tree.
Right. Anywho,
Yeah.
Miguel was extremely angsty in this movie.
So much so. Like, edgelord, like, bro, calm the fuck down.
So fucking edgelord that you can cut your hand on his dialogue, you know. Which, by the way, shout out to Oscar Isaac, who voices Miguel in this movie. I didn't dislike the character, but I was kind of hoping for, I don't know, something a little bit more. I think it would have been beneficial to, if they're going to go this route with Miguel, it would have been beneficial to at least see him in a more helpful light.
Yeah.
You know, but right from the bat, you get the idea that this guy's going to be like an asshole.
Yeah, he's going to be a villain. Like, first off, he had the slow-moving platforms. Like, bro, how more Darth Vader could you be?
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, it would have been more impactful, at least for me, just a little bit, if they had him, you know, seem more, more Spider-Man-esque, like more I want to save, I want to help people.
Right.
Have him play that angle, you know, and then slowly have him, you know, show like those true colors, you know.
Right.
You know, he's an asshole from the beginning to the end, just, you know, a bigger asshole there at the end. So we can kind of go ahead and talk about like some of the things that happen here at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get to the point where we see Miles trying to escape the Spider Town.
Yeah. Spider Tower.
Spider Tower.
Yeah.
Spider Tower Town City, Tropolis, Plex.
He was escaping the spider's nest.
The spider's web. Also, I had this thought during the viewing, but I'm like, they're talking about like the web of destiny, and you know how all these spider people are connected, you know, via the, you know,
the tragedy.
Yeah, the tragedy and the spider and whatnot. And I'm like, they're doing all of this and no Madam Web. Like, that seems bizarre. Right. Yeah.
Well, we also just learned about Madam Web being casted.
That's true.
In something else.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's like, don't touch that. We got plans for that. Yeah.
Or
if
they put Madam Web in this, then maybe people would be more inclined to go see that movie.
That would have been smart. Yeah. That would have been my call.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know who the fuck Madam Web is. I see a Facebook announcement, blah, 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 announces Madam Web. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Who's Madam Web?
I mean, you know, most of us just know her from the animated series because she was in that quite a bit.
Okay.
You know, it's like the old lady in like the web type place, and she would kind of give Peter this cryptic advice.
Who's she gonna give advice to in this movie?
I guess Miles in this case is who she give advice to.
Okay.
But no sign of Madam Web here. But like you said, I guess that they figure they're using her in something else, so they'll hold back for now.
Okay.
Yeah. So with Miguel here, he basically calls a fucking manhunt. So he calls his manhunt to stop Miles from getting out. Yeah. And I'm like, you probably shouldn't tell, like, you know, the entire thing and then try to keep Miles, you know, in. Maybe keep him distracted there for a couple of days after the deed is done. And then, you know, tell him, hey, by the way, sorry, bud, but this is what happened.
Yeah.
And then if you want to let him go home, you can let him go home. It doesn't matter at that point.
There are plenty of ways to distract him.
Yeah. Just tell Gwen to give him some ass, and I guarantee you that kid would be distracted for more than 2 days.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Hot damn.
Yep.
One thing we gotta talk about too.
Yeah.
What was his name? Hobby?
Hobby Brown.
So interesting. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Like, that was played well.
Yeah. I believe that was voiced by Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Our boy from Get Out and Nope.
So good.
Yeah.
I really liked how they played his character, who was kind of like always the stalwart, like, okay, I'm going to help because fuck you. Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, like, when I saw that Spider-Punk was in the movie, I was like, I don't give two shits about Spider-Punk. But no, he wasn't bad here in this movie.
He was fun.
Yeah.
He was good. They tuned him down eventually. I'm like, thank goodness, because that animation would have been hard to follow the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
And of course, he played a British style, like Electric Gibson looking guitar. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very classic European rock. So
yeah. And I mean, again, they got the essence of what Spider-Punk is. He is a European, like a Brit rock guy who was an anarchist.
Yeah.
And I remember just you read enough Spider shit and you come across some of these characters, or at least their bios, and I'm like, that's all I need to read from this guy. That's and it's not that they're not interesting. It's just that I don't need another Spider person in my life right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All my Spider slots are filled. You may stand in a queue that does not move if you wish.
That's funny.
But no, like you, man, I actually liked him in this movie. He wasn't bad at all. Yeah.
They won me over with him, like inserting him into like the role of like, oh, we really need your help. Oh man, look at you, you're so amazing. And Miles is like, but I was doing things too,
right?
And like he's like, next time, flatten your palms.
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And then like it was really clever when like real quick he's like looking around like the weird antechamber. Fuck you. We're going to erase you from history. Whatever thing, and like you see him standing like on one edge of the pod, and he's like, I really dug that. Like, this is cool. Okay, interesting. Right. Good shit. Dude.
It was good shit.
Good shit.
Yeah. Especially since that guy was trying to bone down your girl,
Right.
So
yeah, he was a true anarchist because like as soon as he saw the plot, he like presumably left and also left Gwen.
Yeah.
And like just said, oh, by the way, I quit.
Yeah.
So cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So the kind of like the big thing that happens here at the end is we see Miles trying to escape this place because he wants to go and save, his dad from his inevitable fate.
Yeah.
And what we alluded to earlier about how this could technically be perceived as like a villain origin is you want to do something good and noble, even if it means something terrible happening.
Yep.
And I mean, you can compare that to a number of villains.
Yeah, I mean, just simply to even like sidestep the potential arguments that people are going to have, you can even see it immediately in this movie with another great scene where that happened. We saw like a foreign Indian Spider-Man. Yeah. That was so fun to watch because who the fuck is this guy? With like a yo-yo on the web and all this. Oh, my life is perfect. Look at my hair. It's all amazing. Fuck you. I'm perfect. I got my girl. I got my fam. I got good grades.
Yeah.
I get blowjobs. Like, what do you get? You get nothing. I'm the best Spider-Man. And then we see the canon event, quote unquote, as a tongue-in-cheek, lovingly called them in the movie, disrupted. Mm-hmm. And because it's disrupted is when the giant hole opened up and it's like, hey, this universe is about to get devoured.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
and so we'll probably just see that again later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I hope the sequel does not do is have Miles have his cake and eat it too. You can't save your father and save the universe.
Right.
Like I've said so many times before, for every Spider-Man, there's that point where you need to grow up and realize that fucking mantra Uncle Ben said is true, you know? And
great power, great responsibility.
Yeah.
Classic.
And I mean, Spider-Man, similar to Daredevil, like, you have to suffer. Like, I hate to put it that way, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's going to hurt Miles so much, but that's the fate of Spider-Man, you know?
And it sucks, you know, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. That kind of tragedy, you know, if you can pull through that, then you can pull through any kind of adversity. That's kind of the whole point of it.
Yeah.
So I just hope that they don't try to skirt around that. This movie did such a great job with, like, you know, that type of tone. I feel like this movie or the sequel could do a great job with dealing with, like, loss or grief, you know. So hopefully they can stick that landing.
I hope so, dude. Like, they were really impactful with their writing. Like, I really dug it. Even, like, the opening scene with Gwen, the writing was, like, it was well done. It was just laid bare. It was really, really just, like, naked but honest. You know? Yeah. So
Yeah, it was so good that I almost didn't mind that. I was like, it's been 15 minutes and still no Miles.
Okay, look down a watch.
Yeah.
What watch you got over there right now?
This is my Spider-Man watch, okay? It's Miles Morales Spider-Man. That's why it's camouflage. You can't see
Oh,
it.
no, yeah. Your Miles Morales Spider-Man watch of teleport the fuck around the universe is multiverses.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, like, I'm glad to see Gwen again, but ain't Miles in this movie?
Right.
Yeah. And so the ending of this movie, though, you know, we see Miles try to go home and he ends up in the wrong universe, Universe 42, which they distinctly said Universe 42 was damned because the spider somehow got out of that dimension into in Universe 1610, and it bit Miles. And by the way, none of this is actually, I don't believe any of this is actually canon from the comics. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have the book, so I should probably look into that.
It's right there. It's one of those right there.
I'll say, you pointing at Moon Knight. You know.
I can't see. I'm looking at you. There. Now I'm pointing the light switch. It's in there, Quentin. That does bring up an interesting point. So one of the arguments made was that Morales was like, hey, you know, fuck you. You're the original anomaly. Mm-hmm. But it's like, how could he be if the spider was somehow teleported to his dimension?
Yeah, that's the part they didn't explain. They're going to have to explain.
They're going to have to. Like, how did A get over to B?
Right.
Because that was a causation that began Miles getting bit and then everything else coming to action. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to need that back.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to take the cap for my kombucha. Thank you. But yeah, like that's... I'm ready for that explanation.
Yeah. Because if they just leave that as it is...
That's a hole.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so they have to explain how that spider got over there. I mean, did it No, it couldn't have happened with the hydrogen collider because Miles has already been bitten.
Yeah, exactly.
So that can't be the case. So I don't know. But the chain of events that caused, because there was no Spider-Man in Universe 42, that universe went to shit, you know, because the spider didn't bite anybody in that universe.
Yeah.
It comes over, bites Miles, and that changes the web of destiny, so Peter has to die in that universe.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's quite the fucking problem there.
Yeah, especially because, you know, there's no other superheroes in New York City to help out.
That is the shit I was thinking about too. Like I was like,
that's right, I'm in your head.
I was like, there's like 24 other superheroes one block over. You
right.
know?
Doctor Strange.
Fantastic Four.
Right.
I mean, especially we can stop at Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Because like Reed Richards would be like, oh, well, Sue, I've developed this device and I can fucking see what the fuck is happening. The goddamn multiverse is unraveling. And all I gotta do is turn on this fucking ultimate nullifier I got.
Yeah. And then he'd be like, oh wait, what the fuck is this? Why are there all these Spider-Men congregating? Oh, that's a problem.
That's a fucking problem.
We need to convince all these assholes to go back to their shit.
Right.
He goes to them. He's like, what the hell are you made of, like color cells from a comic book? Why are you a pig? Yeah. Why is that a cat?
Right.
Why are you an anime bot?
That's
what the fuck is going on?
Who put that costume on that
T-Rex? Is that a goddamn Doom buggy, Spider-Man? Put that shit back where it belongs.
Oh, no. You mean Spider Part Car? That was clever.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
What was the name of that? I don't know if you've seen this. It was like reruns of a super old show. I think it was a Hanna-Barbera show, but it was like a talking Doom buggy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember any more about it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That's a way back memory.
That's a way back. That's a I'm not sure that was in a bin. It's so dusty.
Right.
I don't know. We're gonna have to look that up. Yeah. Hanna-Barbera Doom Buggy cartoon.
Yeah, Doom Buggy cartoon. Homies, if you guys know what the fuck we're talking about, kudos to you.
Yeah, send us a message.
Yeah, send us a message.
Because Q and I, we know Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
That's about that. Because, yeah, Scooby-Doo is Hanna-Barbera. And
Jetsons, right?
Yeah.
And Flintstones?
Yeah, both of those are Hanna-Barbera. And then...
Josie and the Pussycats, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
Hong Kong Phooey, the #1 super guy?
Yeah, and then El Kabong.
El Kabong.
El Kabong. Yeah, that was a good
That
one.
shit still makes me laugh today. Like, you just hit people with guitars.
He made a superhero kick. He's like, I'm gonna fuck you.
I'm gonna fuck your shit up with this guitar, bitch. and he announces it too. Kabong! Wha-thung.
He's like, I'm gonna give you a concussion with these 6 strings right here. It's like, wait, what?
Okay, we've gotten way.
Quentin, this is destined. It had to happen.
This is not in the web of destiny.
It's in our web of destiny. We had to have this conversation. We had to talk about El Kabong.
There is no El Kabong Spider-Man. That'd be hilarious, though. I would love that.
That's so goddamn funny.
Um,
He swings around and slams
it
guitars.
slams guitars. God damn.
Spider-Punk would be like, what the fuck is that?
Yep. Yep.
Spider-Punk?
Spider-Punk.
Spider-Punk,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh,
My
shit.
cheeks hurt.
I love the resolution of this movie. I guess maybe lack thereof, but Miles thinks he's in his universe. He's not, and then he realizes it once he he sees that things are different.
Yeah.
You know?
He speaks with his mom, and his mom's like, the fuck you talking about?
Yeah.
Whatever.
What's the Spider-Man? Yeah. His Uncle Aaron comes in, and so his Uncle Aaron is alive. That's big.
Yeah.
And we see Uncle Aaron put some money down on the table to give to his mom. Indicating that they've been struggling with, keeping up. And they go upstairs to the top of the roof of the building, and we see the mural that we see early in the movie. Early in the movie, the mural is of Aaron.
Yep. Rest in power.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. But this time it's of Jefferson.
Yeah.
So this movie, I also realize, implies that, off note here, Jefferson took his wife's last name. Because I've always been curious as to why Miles Morales is Miles Morales and not Miles Davis. And then I thought it's because of the musician.
Right.
But then I'm like, but maybe Jefferson is Morales because they couldn't use Jefferson Davis, like,
Bro, you went down the rabbit hole.
I went down the rabbit hole, man. Yeah.
You thought about this. You better back off. I see some steam coming.
I'm like, why is this man named like Bendis? All he had to do was swap the races of the parents. All you had to do was give him a black mom and a Puerto Rican dad. I'm like, we didn't have to do this whole kerfuffle.
You're right. Michael Bendis was like, nah, she's going to be like, I'll marry you, but I'm keeping my name.
And you're taking my name.
Apparently.
And see, that's the most unrealistic thing. I can testify. A black man has never in history done that. No matter how fiery the pussy is, that's never happened.
Wow.
But yeah, this is when we first get like a glimpse of Miles Morales' Prowler. And man, was that shit cool. And this is also where we get the scene where Miles is tied up and Aaron puts on Heart of the City. Great song.
So good.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
Yeah.
Dude, that better be a soundtrack I can get. Because I would get that whole soundtrack on vinyl.
That
So
soundtrack.
good. Yeah.
That shit slaps hard.
Yeah.
But man, so there's a lot going on here that
final scene.
Yeah.
Dude, so good.
it was, really good to see what Miles looks like if he had never been bitten by the spider. And also to see what Miles turns into without his dad.
Yeah.
And, it's man, it's sad, but it's also insightful because it's like Miles adores his uncle, and it hurt him when he died. But it's like, if he doesn't have his dad in his life and only his uncle, look what happens.
Yeah.
So.
And that uncle of his got him like, oh, now you're a Prowler.
Yeah.
But young and agile, and every bit of Miles is Miles.
Yeah. Kevin, would you ever have a problem kicking your own ass in a situation like
Hell
that?
yeah, I would. My ass is great. I don't want to kick my own ass. I'd be like, hey, you're me. And he'd be like, yes, I am. And you're me. Partly. And I'm like, oh, goddamn, you're a villain.
Yeah, yeah. So like, but if you were good you, I'm calling you the good you. Maybe you're
Thank
not.
you. Thank
but
you.
Yeah.
Probably not. But I mean, I am bald after all. I look like Lex Luthor.
Now, if you ever get a goatee, then you're either a villain or a porn star.
It's funny you mention. It's funny you mentioned that. I was thinking about shaving it the other day. No, never. I cannot betray my beard. But yeah, so imagine if I was good me, right? You're saying, okay.
Would you have a problem fighting an obviously villain you?
Obviously
I
villain.
mean, he probably knows what you're gonna do. You know?
Right. Obviously villain version of me. I probably wouldn't have a problem fighting me. I'd be like, okay, this has got to happen.
Yeah.
And like the whole time, I would be trying to hold back psychology jokes about like finding my own self and blah 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 to become blah blah better or whatever.
You just have to hope this other version of you, because I think about this way
doesn't
too
have
much.
a gun.
Well, that, and also like, what if this motherfuckers, instead of like wrestling, spend the last 12 years doing jujitsu? I'm fucked.
Yeah, no, same. yeah.
This motherfucker's gonna kick my ass.
Like spending the last like 12 years instead of like learning how to climb rocks really, really, really well. Instead, he's like, bitch, I'm a martial artist.
Yeah.
And I'm a weapons expert. Like, oh, god damn
Son
it.
of a bitch.
Fuck. You need a clone? I got you, man.
Right.
Just don't kill me. I'll take you out in your sleep. What'd you say? What? No, nothing. Yeah.
He's like, I'll use you, yes, for spare parts.
Fuck.
No.
I need new kidneys. I drink too many energy drinks. Hey, we got that in common.
But yeah, I love the ending of this movie. And Miles,
Yes.
like the whole team has a lot of bullshit to contend with. They, like you said earlier, they got Miguel O'Hara and like the crew of Spider people. They got Spot, who's still out there. I mean, who's even more powerful now.
Dude, he's so powerful. Like
Yeah.
he absorbed whatever kaleidoscope machine that was. It was
Right.
Kaleido something. I can't remember. But he absorbed like the universal powers of numerous machines. And now he's just like a walking fucking Slender Man of multiverse convergence.
Right.
He is the sphere of conjunction.
Yeah.
That is a deep cut Witcher reference, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also like conjunction junction, what's your function? You know what I mean? Like, what does Spot do now that he is in this?
I commend you for trying to keep a straight face, but I'm sitting like, what the fuck are you? Sir,
Yes?
sir, how dare you go Schoolhouse Rock on my ass, okay?
Listen, Kevin, I'm just a bill, all right? I'm
You
only
shut the
a bill.
fuck up. You shut the fuck up, sir. I will not have that in this household.
You're like, I don't know any other Schoolhouse Rock songs.
What is another one? Conjunction, junction. What's your function? Preposition? Is that one?
Probably, I don't remember it though.
I'm Just a Bill was a great one. That's
Yeah.
a classic.
And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Well, now I'm off to the president of the U.S. of A. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, but that's all I remember.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Me too.
Oh yeah, so and obviously they have to deal with like Mini Prowler and Aaron,
Yeah.
and then Miles has to resolve the interpersonal issue of what the fuck happens with his dad. You know,
Yeah.
so like, what are you gonna do there? And then it looks like for this this next one, they're bringing back a lot of the old crew. So I mean, I think we saw Spider Ham.
Yep. Actually, it's interesting we saw Spider-Ham. I was wondering if we were going to see him. Because I know John Mulaney
Yeah.
unplugged for a while, you know.
Yeah,
as
he went to rehab. But I mean, he
Yeah.
came out, did a comedy special.
Yeah, have you seen that?
I started. I didn't get a chance to finish it though.
It's pretty good. It's pretty awesome. He talks about his whole experience. It's actually like, oh, bro, well done. Well,
Yeah.
good shit. And he ended it in a good, heartwarming way. Good
Yeah,
special. Yeah. Yeah. The person I'm seeing also likes comedy specials.
Oh, yeah.
So like we began watching those,
Right.
and then we discovered Batman, and she's like,
Yes.
yeah, okay. But yeah, no, like I figured we wouldn't hear Spider-Ham because of like what John Mulaney's like his healing process and everything. And then like all the other characters, Nicolas Cage is probably busy too, making, The Mantle of Greatness or whatever that movie's called. Yeah.
But I mean, shit, like it'd be wise of them to jump on because that's a fucking money train now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got
after this movie. Yeah.
I mean, like I don't. Like, obviously, the movie literally just came out, but I already know it's gonna do gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the word of mouth has got to travel again, and it's.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna do great. I think. The only problem is that it does have competition. It's got like 2 weeks to get all the fucking money because when The Flash comes out, it's gonna be another movie that it has to contend with.
Yep.
So
that's fair.
But no, man, great movie, man, great time. You got any other final thoughts before we wrap up?
Nah, dude. Like I'm just so excited to see what part 2 does.
Yeah, I would love to just in the meantime rewatch the first 2.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to in a couple days
That's
when
true.
I go watch it with my girl, and I'm like, hey, this is the first time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that's gonna happen. Oh, you're really good at this. Well, thank you.
Oh, thank
I
you.
podcasted for many years.
You guess some shit that you could never possibly fucking guess. Like, wait a minute.
A pregnant lady's about to come in. She's about to be on a motorcycle. She's like, I'm sorry, what the hell did you say? You realize how dumb that is? She comes in on a motorcycle. She's like, oh, we're going to talk later. you done fucked up. I said, oh, dadgummit.
Also, it was very bold of them to not include a post-credit scene. Because they're doing a sequel, definitely understand why they didn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, hell, even Infinity War had a post-credit scene, even if it was bullshit.
Yeah.
But they still had one. So I mean, but I salute them for not doing it though.
Yeah. No, same.
Yeah. But no, this is a phenomenal experience. I had a blast with this movie, and I mean, I genuinely want to see it again.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Kevin, man, thanks for being here, brother.
No problem, my dude. No problem. I definitely wanted to. It sounds like it came in at a good time too. Yeah. Yeah. It's just all around awesome.
Oh yeah, the original plans I was gonna have to do this one solo dolo, but then you swooped on in, and I was like, well, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'm all about it.
Hell yeah.
So happy to be here, homies. I'm so glad to for you special few who clicked play on this particular episode. I'm happy as hell I got to be here with you guys too. So send some love. Sign up. Tell your friends about the show. Let it grow, man. Like, help us to grow, please.
Let it grow. Let it grow. Let it grow. Oh, the podcast homies are insightful.
For most of that, that's what she said. Also, that was the title of their sex tape.
And Kevin's bad jokes are so delightful.
But I know you just missed me so.
Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. I cannot think of a better bad way to end this episode.
That was a great way. So good.
Homies, one and all, thank you guys again for listening again and for being homies and for all you guys do. This has been amazing. Kevin, again, thank you for being here. But this is going to be all for now. So, homies, until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And as always, I am Superhero Homie Kevin.